Hi guys, Bret Lohrbach here with actprepcourse.org. In today's video, we're going to learn how to get in and how to use the virtual classroom. The virtual classroom is what we'll be using during our classes in the ACT Prep course. It will show you how to use all the functions. It will show you how to interact with one another. But you need to be able to get in and out before each class. So this video will show you how to do that. Please watch it and please be sure you can go through the process before orientation. During orientation, we will all meet in the virtual classroom and we'll just kind of run through and make sure we have all the problems ironed out. So before then, go through the process, see if you can get in and out of the virtual classroom without trouble. If you do have trouble, give me a call, shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to talk you through it. All right? So let's get started. Okay, the first thing you have to do is go to the course site's website and log in with the username and password that was provided, and that will take you to the course site's splash page, which looks something like this. And we want to enter into the home page for the ACT Prep course. So we click on that, and we are now at the home page of the ACT Prep course. In the left-hand panel over here, you will see the link that says Virtual Classroom. This is what you have to click to enter into the classroom. Now, it's a little interesting because every single time you have to enter the classroom, your computer has to download and install a file that is specific to that meaning. So every time you click on it, you have to download and install and execute another file. The first time you do it, it's a little bit more complicated. It has a few more steps to go through depending on the security settings of your individual computer. But after the first time, it just becomes really easy. It's just an automatic process. If you're using a PC and you click on this link, it will automatically download and run it after the first time. But I'm using a Mac, and I've found that Macs don't do that automatically. And you notice here it says your virtual room will launch automatically. Click below to relaunch. If you're at this page for more than 10-15 seconds and nothing is happening, you may want to click relaunch. I know I have to every time I use the Mac. Once you click it again, you're going to download it. See, there it goes. That's the Mac. It's downloaded. The executional file. Notice these are all the files from previous sessions. Again, each session has its own file. You just click on it to install it each and every time you enter in, and you wait about 5 and 10 seconds, and then you should see something happening. Again, the PC will do this automatically, most of them. Oh, there it is. They're starting to execute and install the Blackboard Collaborate. That's what we use, Blackboard Collaborate. And there's our classroom there. So we see the whiteboard. Oh, and this camera over here is the camera for, I'm actually installed on two computers. One is a teacher, and on this one I'm working as a student. So let me see if I can turn the video on here. One thing before you start working on your videos, you may want to go and configure your camera settings. I know I have two cameras on my computer, and I want to pick a better one. Make sure you click on that, and you can configure your microphones as well. Let me go to my teacher computer and see if I can start the video here. All right, give me just a second. And yeah, so I should be able to Great. Now I'm just working on one video, one computer. As a moderator, as a teacher, I will be able to put up the cameras of whoever wants to speak so we can all see you, and we can change that accordingly. But the first thing you may want to do is, just like I said, configure your settings for both your camera and or your speakers, your microphone. Make sure you get those according to your setup at home. This button here, video, is if you want the video to be displayed for all the class to see. Your talk button is what you have to click when you want to talk. You just click it when you want to talk. You can click it off when you're done talking. You can adjust the volume of this. Is set automatically, the speaker reception, and then your microphone reception, but you can adjust them individually if you like. This is just a preset. So anyway, go in there, play around with your configurations, get that working just right. Just below the audio and video section, you see a participant section. This has all the students in the classroom. You see a couple buttons down here. One is your emotions. If you want to play, during class, hey, I'm not getting this, I'm a little confused. You can put a little confusing face. Some people like to do this a little more than others. I'm not very big on these type of things, but it's a button you're welcome to use. I don't look at the participant section while I'm teaching, unless of course I'm asking a specific question, or I need a response from people, or I need to manage the students somehow, because it's too distracting for me to focus on the participants. But anyway, maybe it's a little bit easier for you to add some things. You can do that. The button right next to that is to step away from the session if you need to leave for a little while. But this is one you'll probably use more often. If you have a question, you can always just click your talk button and interrupt or whatever. But if you have just to say some things that you want to say. But if you have a question that's going to be a little bit more extensive, or you need to interrupt me, you can raise your hand just like you would in a regular classroom. Lift your hand up. I can see that. Everybody sees that. When I get to a stopping point, I'll ask you, okay, hey, what's your question, Billy Bob? Talk to me. At that point, you can turn your video on, turn your microphone on, and I'll adjust it to where everybody sees you. You can ask your question. And again, don't be shy. We're all in the same class. We're not publicizing this on YouTube or anything. It's just you got questions like you would in class, raise your hand, talk to me, ask it. I want to take time and make sure you get your money's worth. Make sure you get your questions answered. Make sure you get everything. So don't worry about the flow of things. Just ask your question. Raise your hand. When you get to go ahead, turn your video and mic on. Ask your question. We can chat back and forth. We can get it worked out just like you would in a regular classroom. And then when you're done, ready to move on, turn your mic off, turn your video off, and you can push the button again to put your hand down. So that will be a nice way to facilitate asking questions from many people who are participating in the room. This third button is a response to a poll or a question. A lot of times I may ask you, okay, is everybody getting this? You come over here and you can just answer by clicking the button. You can use your microphone, but it's just as easy to use this button. Or sometimes I will have questions like a practice problem. I'll put a practice problem up and I'll say, okay, work it. And when you get your answer, you can use this button here. It'll be A, B, C, or D, or E. You can just click your answer when you're done, and I can see when everybody's done, and see what answer is correct or what answer is not correct. So those are those buttons there. That's in the participant section. You can control your videos. I can control your videos and things of that sort. This little bar right here is for interacting inside the whiteboard. Most of this is going to be blocked for you as a user because Obviously, I don't want you writing on my board while I'm talking, but in the event when it's not blocked, you're welcome to make contributions if you need to during the class. But that's what this section over here is right there. And then just below we have um, the chat section. Again, you're welcome during class. It's like whispering, it's like whispering in a real classroom. The classroom's going on, teacher's talking. Sometimes you may want to lean over to somebody and say, "Oh, wow, that was cool," or "Did you get that?" So you can whisper. That's kind of like the whispering going on. And just like a real classroom, I am going to ignore all of that. I know students whisper back and forth. I just continue with my lesson. If it gets really distracting, or like if this chat, there's a whole bunch of chatting going on, like there's a problem, I'll probably stop and ask and say, "Hey, what's the problem? Talk to me." But if you just had some ideas or things, you can just chat, do it there. But again, if you want my attention, make sure you get it, but not using the chat, because I don't read the chat during the discussion board. And that's it. That is the virtual classroom. That's how you get in and out. Use some of the features. Again, I hope you get comfortable with it. Play around with it. Try it on your computer. Try it 2 or 3 times before orientation. Because when we get to orientation, we want everybody to be there, and we'll practice with a bunch of people in the classroom. But until then, make sure you can download it and execute it. Go through all the security issues your particular computer may have. And if you have any questions, please contact me. You have my email, my contact information. Just call me. It'll be listed on the bottom of this YouTube page. Call me, email me if you have any questions, and if not, we will see you at orientation. All right? Hope you'll have a wonderful day, and we'll see you then.